And welcome back to another video on Manav Sports Talk. In this video, we're going to be talking about my predictions for the divisional round playoffs. We're in store for a great round again after the wildcard weekend. That was so fun to watching the wildcard weekend. So now let's get started with the divisional round predictions. Let's go. Last week, my record for wildcard weekend was an impressive 3-1, so I was pretty happy about that. And also, I didn't tell you my record for the regular season. That actually was a pretty good 129 to 79, which is wins to losses. So I found that really good. I didn't do the first 4 weeks of the NFL, so just keep that in mind. The first game this week, we're starting off with the San Francisco 49ers versus the Minnesota Vikings. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be taking place at 3:35 at San Francisco on NBC. So let's see who I'm picking. The San Francisco 49ers, 27. The Vikings, 17. 49ers winning by 10. So obviously in a very, very long time, it's the first playoff game in San Francisco in the Bay Area, finally. It took so long for that to happen. Anyway, I don't think the 49ers are going to disappoint. I've seen other people, they keep switching to the Vikings after they beat the Saints. No, I'm not switching. They're not going to beat the 49ers. They're not. I know they beat the Saints, but the 49ers are better than the Saints. So, yeah. The 49ers are in the top 5 offensively and defensively. One of the most balanced teams in the league, led by, obviously, Jimmy Garoppolo and then their amazing defense. And this week, the key is the return of D Ford. The 49ers pass rush is going to be very powerful and vicious with the return of D Ford. I mean, before they used to double team Nick Bosa, and now what's going to happen is that they're not going to double team Nick Bosa. Everybody on that defensive line is going to have one-on-one matchup. So what's that going to mean? Insane pressure. So D Ford coming off the edge, Nick Bosa coming off the edge. They're two talented interior rushers. Solomon Thomas, DeForest Buckner. They're just going to come after Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is going to get sacked plenty in this game. That's the key for the 49ers. Their pass rush. And now they're healthy for the first time in forever. The important part of the Vikings offense is Dalvin Cook, their star running back. With him, the offense runs completely. He allows Kirk Cousins on the play action, and then he allows their big touchdown runs and balances the offense completely. He is the entire key to the Minnesota Vikings offense. They did really good against the Saints. Dalvin Cook had a really good game. And their offensive line was able to pave the way for him to go. However, in this game against San Francisco, I don't really trust their offensive line. With the return of D Ford, Quan Alexander, and Jaquiski Tartt, the 49ers are going to be able to stop the run much, much better than they have the past few weeks. And that's going to almost very, very much reduce the impact of the Minnesota Vikings offense. One of the big things was that Minnesota impressed me so much on their defensive side. Mike Zimmer, obviously, hats off to him. He made a very impressive scheme that stopped Drew Brees. That was amazing. Drew Brees was confused. I don't know if they'll be able to play as good this week because a monster for San Francisco at the running back position. These are Raheem Mostert, Tevin Coleman, and Matt Breida. I think this is going to be too much to handle for the Minnesota Vikings offense. I know they're good at the run, but these guys are all at 4.4 speed. It's shown to be really good for the 49ers throughout the year, and I think it will really help them, obviously, in the divisional round playoff. The Vikings, they have a really good defensive line, Everson Griffin, Daniel Hunter. They will get pressure. The 49ers offensive line has been vulnerable in that area, but Jimmy G has held in. He's made some plays while that has happened, and he'll do it again. He's done it throughout the season. He'll do it again. San Francisco at home. And a big thing I'm predicting is that the defense might force a couple of turnovers here and there to help the offense. So that wraps up the first game. Let's move on to the second. For the divisional playoffs, we have the number 1 seed Baltimore Ravens taking on the number 6 seed Tennessee Titans. This game will be on CBS at 7:15 p.m. in Baltimore. So let's see who I'm picking. Baltimore Ravens 35, the Tennessee Titans 21. Is not going to be one and done. I'm telling you, there's no way they're going to be one and done. They're the best team in the league. Come on now. They have a 12-game win streak. They're 14-2 coming in. They've had the rest. Well, obviously Lamar Jackson needs the rest. He uses his legs a lot. So yeah, I think they're not losing to Tennessee. They're not, really. The key is obviously the Ravens' rushing game. They're the best rushing game in the league. And it all starts with Jackson, their quarterback and the probable MVP of the league. I mean, he's been so good this year. What a talent to watch. I mean, look at his juke moves. I mean, they absolutely break the ankles of the other people. And, it's just so hard to stop the running game when you have two different people running the ball and trying to read who's getting the ball. Because obviously you have Lamar Jackson, and then whichever running back is there, obviously Mark Ingram may not play. He does have a calf injury, so we'll see. But it'll be Gus Edwards or something. But that's more than good enough because it's so hard to read who's getting the ball. And the Titans are not going to be doing that in this game. The Ravens, they're better than the Pats at stopping the run, so I don't think Derrick Henry will have that big a game. Obviously, they will feed him the rock a lot. He's their key to the entire offense, but I think the Ravens should be able to stop him enough. And because the Titans will be down early and they'll have to chase from behind, and that requires passing, not running. So that's why Derrick Henry's numbers may be a bit low in this game. One of the most talented secondaries in the league. Look at their talent. Earl Thomas, Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Peters. I mean, it's so impressive, and they'll stop Ryan Tannehill. He didn't have the best game against New England, and he's not going to have a good game here, too. This secondary is very good. And I think they'll be able to force a couple of turnovers here and there, because Tannehill, he just threw a ball up against the Patriots and was intercepted, so I think the Ravens might force a couple of it themselves. And, yeah, the Titans' offense will struggle early. I expect the Ravens to jump out to an early and fast start, as they've always had throughout the year, and that's going to lead them straight to a home game in the AFC Championship. Let's move on to the next game. What I'm going to be talking about is the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Houston Texans. This game will be in Kansas City and will be on Sunday at 2:05 p.m. on CBS. I think this is going to be a really nice offensive showdown. Let's see who I pick in this game. I have the Kansas City Chiefs, 37, the Houston Texans, 31. Before this game is going to be an offensive explosion with big plays all over the place. Let's start with the Texans defense. They're not very good. Sometimes they're really good, and then sometimes they're just really bad. Their pass defense, same thing. Sometimes they're really good, sometimes they're really bad. And I just think the Chiefs have just too many weapons, too much offensive firepower. And the Texan defense is going to get kind of destroyed in this game. And the biggest playmaker I feel in this game will be Harmon. I mean, he's the second Tyreek Hill on this team, pretty much. And I think Houston will be able to stop Tyreek Hill a little bit. Because they have Bradley Roby. He was able to almost shut down Tyreek Hill last time. So I think Tyreek might not have the best game. And I just think Mecole Hardman, he's the second Tyreek Hill, as I said. And he's just going to blaze past the rest of the Texans defense. I think he'll have a touchdown in this game, too. The Houston defense, they can't even stop one weapon. Imagine trying to stop all of these weapons that the Chiefs have. Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, Mecole Hardman, Demarcus Robinson, Travis Kelce, LaShawn McCoy, and Damian Williams. They can't stop any of them. Patrick Mahomes is just going to light it up. He's just going to do all sorts of amazing things and absolutely destroy this Texans defense and score tons of points. Texans offense, you have the beast, the legend, the magician, Deshaun Watson. What a player. He's just done things that I can't see before. I mean, I've never seen it happen. Just like Mahomes on the other side, he also does some Houdini-type plays, which I've never even seen before. This guy's an absolute beast, and he's going to be a beast like he is always. He's going to be amazing in this game, and he'll light it up too, but he does take a lot of sacks, and that is going to be the problem. But I think he'll keep them in the game. And the running game, they have a good running game, Carlos Hyde, Duke Johnson. I think they'll be good. It's not like the Chiefs' defense has been very good against the run. But I believe a couple of stall drives here and there, and then Houston, they're just not going to be able to compete because of. And the rest of the Chiefs' pass rush. The Chiefs have a pretty decent pass rush, I feel. And they're going to be able to sack Deshaun Watson a couple of times. I think Frank Clark off the edge, maybe Chris Jones up the middle. we'll see. But I think they'll be able to sack Deshaun a couple of times here and there, and that will allow the Chiefs' offense to go ahead, right? To build their advantage over the Houston Texans, and that's how the Chiefs are gonna win. Winning this high-scoring offensive affair, let's move to the last and final game of the divisional round. We have the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Green Bay Packers. This game will be on Fox and will be in Green Bay and be taking place at 5:40 p.m. Let's see who I am picking to win the game. Lastly, I have the Green Bay Packers 23, the Seattle Seahawks 26. This game was the hardest to pick. I mean, both sides have their advantages and disadvantages, and I mean, it's just going to be a really good game. And I finally came out that I think Seattle's just going to pull it off. I mean, if you give the Seahawks the Packers schedule, I mean, what are the Seahawks going to do? They're probably going to have an amazing record. The Packers have had one of the easiest records, I feel, and that's why they're 13-3. And Seattle, to me, has just been more convincing overall on the year. And it all starts with their quarterback. And you know who he is. Russell Wilson. He's the second-in-line to MVP. He has had an amazing season this year. And he's been much better than Aaron Rodgers, by the way. Russ has led his team all year, and he's going to do it big time today. I mean, not today, in the game. Because that's what he does, and that's why they're going to win. Russell Wilson. And I do think he'll be able to avoid the Smith bros. No relation, obviously. Zadarius Smith, Preston Smith. They've been the two biggest pass rushers on the Green Bay Packers. But Russell Wilson's mobility, he's going to evade them, and then he's going to pick up first downs with his legs. He's going to make plays. And I think they'll neutralize the Green Bay pass rush and allow some holds in the secondary to his star wide receivers, DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. And that's going to run the offense, basically, for Seattle. Obviously, you have Marshawn Lynch, who will get those big physical touchdown runs. I feel he'll have a couple in this game. And yeah, that's how the Seahawks are going to be scoring on offense. Defense, obviously, they haven't been that good this year, but against the Eagles, I think they're able to get some of their rhythm back. They got 7 sacks. Obviously, that may not be all of their pass rush, but I think that should help them significantly in this game. I know Green Bay has a really good offensive line, but I just think Jadeveon Clowney will make some impact, and he'll be able to stop the run and should be getting some pressure on Aaron Rodgers. And that's going to be a big thing for their defense. And the Packers have just been so bad on third down. I don't know what to tell you. They've just been bad on third down, and I think that's going to haunt them in this game. Devontae Adams, I think he's going to have a big game I think he's going to be the best Packers offensive weapon this game. Speaking of Packers offensive weapons, we have Aaron Jones. He's been the biggest key for the Packers offense, and he's going to have to do it because Aaron Rodgers hasn't been as good this year. And because Matt LaFleur has brought in this new system of running the ball, then passing, Aaron Jones is one of the most important things for this Packers offense. He's been really good this year. I'm not sure if he leads the league in touchdowns, but he has a lot of touchdowns. And he has a lot of big runs. But there's something about Seattle, something about them I just like. I just like their mojo, their rhythm. I just like them. And I believe Aaron Jones is going to not be as productive as he normally is. Obviously, we talked about Jadeveon Clowney, the stud linebackers of Seattle. KJ Wright, Bobby Wagner. So, yeah. And, yeah, Aaron Jones, he's not going to have as great of an impact. I think Seattle might actually jump out to a lead also. So, we'll see how that impacts the game. I do have Seattle winning. I do think they'll reach another NFC title game. And I just like what they have. I know you may be thinking Green Bay has the advantages everywhere. Why are you picking the Packers? No, why are you picking the Seahawks? Yeah. I mean, I just don't like the Packers as much this year. They just don't seem as explosive as the Seahawks do. And that's why Seattle is going to go. And defensively, Quandre Diggs. Remember the name Quandre Diggs. He's a big impact player in the secondary, almost like a Earl Thomas in his prime. And I just think that's going to help out the secondary. We already talked about Clowney. And yeah, Russell Wilson. That wraps up the final game of the division round. So let's move on to my playoff bracket. I'm going to show you who I predict to win the Super Bowl now. So this is the current playoff bracket. So let's predict. Obviously, if you watch my video, I predicted the 49ers to advance and the Seahawks. And then we have, okay, this is wrong first. Oh yeah, so now I have the Chiefs and then the Ravens. So now we've reached our AFC and NFC championship games. Now, I have the Chiefs advancing from the AFC side because the offensive firepower of the Chiefs is just too much for anybody, even the Ravens. And the Chiefs defense, they've gotten better. And I think they'll be able to get a stop once in a while. They are the team to have beaten Lamar Jackson this year, so I think they'll do it again. Now on the other side, San Francisco, I think they're going to the Super Bowl. They'll be at home, and there'll be a divisional game. And the 49ers, top 5 offense and defense, they're going to get the job done. And Jimmy Garoppolo is going to a Super Bowl. And now we have the Super Bowl. 49ers, Chiefs. And I have the Chiefs. The Chiefs are your Super Bowl champions. Because of, again, offensive firepower. Even the 49ers defense won't be able to stop it because they have been vulnerable to some good offenses, the 49ers. And defensively, the Chiefs have gotten better. I think they'll get some pressure on Jimmy G. And yeah, that's why the Chiefs are your new Super Bowl champions. Wraps up the video. Obviously, it was kind of long, 17 minutes, but I included a lot of content for you, so be sure to check it out fully. It will be pretty good for you to learn more. And just thanks for watching this video. Really appreciate it. Really want you to like and subscribe. Please subscribe. You can support my channel, and please like the video. I really do appreciate it when you like it. And please try and comment. I would like to know what you think of the video specifically. And yeah, hope you enjoyed. And my sports blog link is in the description. Be sure to check it out and subscribe to it if you haven't already. And yeah, that's it. And I'm done. Hope you enjoyed.